Few foods spark as much debate as chili does in the United States.
The best.
World's best.
The best.
Undisputed.
Should it have a tomato base, a chili base? Should it have beans, no beans? Should it be made with pork, chicken, beef? Where you live is gonna dictate the answer to those questions, but one thing is universal. Everybody thinks their chili is the best. So today we're gonna explore and cook 5 of the most iconic and popular styles of chili in America. We're gonna make it from scratch, we're gonna taste them, and then I'm gonna tell you which style deserves the crown, which chili is the best. You're just gonna have to stick around and see. I don't even know. We're doing this together. Let's start with the OG, Texas Red. Its origins trace back to the American Southwest, where cowboys cooked it on chuck wagons with non-perishable ingredients. Texas put chili on the national map actually right here in Chicago at the 1893 World's Fair. I guess they set up a little booth and they would just kind of like sling chili to fairgoers. People really liked it, it caught fire, and chili became a sensation. Thanks, Texas. In 1977, Texas actually went ahead and named chili the national dish of the state. They take it pretty seriously. So this bowl of red, as many Texans call it, focuses on meat and chilies, right? There are no beans in this, and it doesn't have any other fillers, but we'll touch on that later. It's widely believed that Texas Red is the original chili, so I figured we should start here with the OG. Into a large pot on high heat, a flick of lard, cubed chuck. We're gonna do this in 2 batches, and a pinch of kosher. All right, same pot, beef removed. We're gonna make a roux with some lard. Melt that up just a bit there. And our flour, all purpose. Just stir that around until the flour absorbs that fat and it toasts a bit, 1 or 2 minutes. It should smell like pie, like beefy pie. This is basically lava, so be careful. Hot roux ain't no joke. For the base, we're gonna go into a blender with our toasted and soaked dried chilies. All of our spices and herbs. Shad garlic cloves, sugar, chicken bouillon powder, little secret MSG weapon, our roux, still hot, pinch of kosher salt, and the beef stock, about half of it. Now we blend. We're just gonna blitz that into a puree. All right, back in the pot on medium heat. All of our browned beef, our chili puree with roux, and the remaining beef stock. Now we're just gonna mix that up. Now we're just gonna let that simmer off until the beef is very, very tender. If your chili is looking a little thick, you can water it down with more stock or water. If you like it on the thicker side, you can just leave it. You know, we're gonna let this go for an hour. It's gonna reduce a little bit. I might add some more liquid later, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Green chili has its roots in the 17th century when Spanish settlers brought over their food traditions to New Mexico and Colorado. Over the years, the tomatillo-based chili verde kind of transformed into what's now known as green chili. In New Mexico, they use hatch chilies, and in Colorado, they use pueblo chilies. Green chili is extremely versatile, but it's a fiercely debated subject, and there's a little bit of a rivalry between Colorado and New Mexico. They're a little different, but to throw respect on both of these beautiful, beautiful states, I figured I'd make sort of a hybrid just to showcase its versatility. Whether you smother burritos with it or eat it by the bowl, this is a Southwestern delicacy that if you're a chili lover, you gotta try. So these are about 3.5 pounds of green roasted chilies. I spent about an hour doing all this yesterday. Roasted them off on my stove back there till they got charred, took all that skin off, seeded them, cut them into little bits like this, and this is where we're at. This is what makes green chili green chili. You guessed it, the green chilies. We just need to pulse these up a little bit. Into a food processor. We're gonna go in with our green chilies. And roasted charred tomatoes. And that delicious roasty charry tomato water. Now we're just gonna pulse this up till it's nice and chunky. We still want some texture in there. That looks good to me. On medium-high heat, heavy pot, we're gonna go with some lard. Jesus. That's what sticks to your arteries. A little bit of pork shoulder and a pinch of kosher. We're just gonna brown this off until the pork takes on colors, similarly to the beef from the Texas Red. Release all that liquid, harvest that flavor. Look at this boy, this little sweet boy, this lovely chili loving boy. Pork looks brown enough. We're gonna go in with our onion and garlic. Another tiny pinch of salt. We're just gonna move this around until the onion starts to sweat with the garlic and everything becomes aromatic. Now we're just gonna hit it with the flour and stir that around. This is gonna coat the pork and the vegetables, and then once we add a little bit of liquid, it will thicken up nicely. So make sure everything's coated so you can't see any flour, and we're just gonna let that kind of cook off for about a minute more. Now in with the green chili chunky mix, a lot of chili. Chicky stock, and our taters. Little pinch of kosher for good measure. Now we mix. Oh yeah, look at that green porky beauty. And if you do need to water it down a bit, remember to kind of try to harvest all that chili flavor possible. I just have a little bit of water in here, and I'm just trying to get all that good to add it back in. I think this is a nice balance between the two styles of green chili that you get in New Mexico and Colorado. The potatoes from the New Mexico, it's kind of a mixture of consistencies here. I feel that the New Mexico tends to be a little thicker, and the Colorado's almost like can be kind of soupy depending on where you get it. So this is like probably on the more viscous side, but I think that's nice and that's a good chili consistency. So we're just gonna let this simmer off on the back burner until the potatoes are tender and it's kind of where we want it to be while we move on to the next one. Cincinnati Chili. Let's head to Cincinnati, Ohio, where chili takes a Mediterranean twist. Hear me out. Created in the 1920s by Macedonian immigrants, this sauce or ragu-like chili is spiced with cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, and it's served over spaghetti with cheese. You heard me right. Now, outsiders might question this one. Rightfully so, it's pretty weird. But ask most people from Ohio, and they'll fiercely defend it as sort of this regional symbol of pride, with chili parlors like Skyline and Gold Star leading the charge. Now, I've actually been to Skyline Chili a couple times. There's a specific language used to order at the restaurant, and most of the locations feel like they haven't been renovated since like 1981. But that sort of adds to the charm. And chili parlor, come on. That word combination is probably the most Midwestern thing you can say in the English language. This chili might be the most unique one on the docket today, especially the way it's served, so let's make it. These are the main spices for the Cincinnati chili. These are the spices that make Cincinnati chili kind of like more Mediterranean. You got the nutmeg here, the clove here, and the cinnamon. Without it, it's just not Cincinnati chili. Big heavy pot, agua going in. We need about 5 cups. That's gotta come to a burl. Ground beef directly in the water. I know, it seems weird. It is weird, this chili's weird, but this is how you do it. Now we're just gonna break this here beef up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam, why didn't you brown the beef? Well, when you go to Skyline, it kinda doesn't look browned. And they guard that recipe with their life, so I'm just doing my best here to kinda emulate what I had. Cool little trick here. So we're gonna have to skim all of this beef scum off, but if you offset your pot, but that the heat is just kind of right here, all of the scum will kind of naturally boil over to one side, makes it easier to skim. We don't want all that nar. Don't gotta be perfect, but try to get most of it. If you use a leaner ground beef, you won't get as much of this fatty scum stuff. All right, that looks good enough to me. Put that in your gas tank and get a few extra miles. Before we get going, I want to talk about 2 very common chili ingredients, and that is chili powder and tomato sauce. So when you see tomato sauce in a can like this, it's just a canned preserved tomato product that has spices in it. This one particularly has tomato puree, onion powder, citric acid, garlic powder. So it's essentially just, seasoned tomato-y liquid. This is what it looks like here. Boom. You could totally just use regular tomato puree, that's fine too. Next is chili powder. Even in this exact moment right now, I don't know if it's supposed to be the powder of chili or if it's powder for chili. I think it's powder for chili because it's got garlic, cumin, paprika, red pepper, black pepper, oregano, and parsley, all things that you might put in your chili, maybe not, but it comes pre-mixed like this. So when you see chili powder, just understand that it's not a generic powdered dried chili. It's a mixture of other spices, probably for chili. So 2 common ingredients dispelled. Or defined. Tomato sauce in, tomato paste, onion, garlic, apple cider vinegar, McDerber sauce, our traditional chili spices, our Mediterranean chili spices, but I'm gonna reserve half of this cinnamon here for later. Sounds crazy, but some unsweetened chocolate. Same idea as like a mole. Un bay leaf and a pinch of kosher. Now we're gonna stir that around till that chocolate melts, and that's literally all you do. Kinda. So we're gonna let this simmer on the back burner for about an hour while we get going on our next chili. Oof, smells so cinnamony. Cincinnati is definitely part of the Midwest, but outside of Ohio, most Midwesterners think of a very specific chili when they hear the word. Where I'm from, the word chili conjures up thoughts of ground beef, a tomato base, and the B word, beans. So the Midwest is definitely guilty of creating some pretty controversial food items, but to me, beans and chili it's not really a big offense. Think about the origin of chili, right? Texas Red. It's essentially a Mexican guisado, a Mexican stew. And beans are a huge part of Mexican cuisine, so it doesn't really feel like a stretch for me. I mean, sure, we use kidney beans, but replace that with pinto, and then is it okay? That's up for you to decide. This style of chili is massive in the Midwest. People serve it whenever it's cold outside, and it might be the unofficial food of watching football games. Funny enough, here in my home state of Illinois, in Springfield, in the capital city, they embraced chili so much that they actually named the town the chili capital of the civilized world, which I imagine they did just to sort of like trigger the cowboys down south. But that's chili beef we're not getting into today. That was nice. That was good. We're gonna keep that in. Here we got our spice blend from the Midwest chili. Probably about as classic as it gets. Large heavy pot. I'm running out of these. High heat. Ground beef in. And a pinch of kosher. We want to give some color to this beef, so I'm just leaving it in this kind of like brick shape. We're gonna let that brown and then flip it, give it more color. Let's see what we got on the other side here. There, beautiful, beautiful. That looks nice to me. We're just gonna break this up now. Allow it to brown all over. Beef steam, beef steam. These little like brown crispy bits, that Maillard reaction, that is what we want. Those are the flavorful pieces. We got a lot of that on the first sear. Now we're just cooking this down until it starts to brown a little more. All right, so this is looking good. Most of the moisture seems to be cooked out. We can add the other stuff. In with butter, a lot of it. This is the Midwest after all. Once your beef is buttery, onion, diced, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, and a pinch of kosher. Just gonna stir that around and sweat these vegetables for a little bit so that they release some of their moisture and concentrate their flavor. Make sure all those brown bits are off. The water from the vegetables will help you kind of deglaze. It's like the edge of a smash burger. That's flavor. We're gonna go in with all the spices. A little tomato paste. The tomato products are beginning. Brown sugar. Now we're gonna stir that around, kind of toast those spices off. We're also gonna toast that tomato paste. This is just gonna help the flavor to start developing even more. This already would be like a great sloppy joe. And I don't even like sloppy joes. So now we're gonna hit it with some flour, again to help thicken things. Now I'm gonna stir that flour in to kind of coat the meat and the vegetables. You don't wanna see any white spots. And we're just gonna cook that out a tiny bit just till that raw flour taste goes away. Won't take long. Now we got some diced tomatoes, kidney beans. Got a couple different colors in there, dark and light. And lastly, the beef stock. Now we just stir that around. And this Midwestern chili in all its chunky glory will simmer for about 45 minutes. You can do up to like 2 hours if you want and keep adding liquid to make it like more deep. We just want it to kind of thicken up oh so slightly. So that's what we shall do. All right, add it to the chili collection, baby. Pop that on low. And believe it or not, we still have one more to go. Should we open a chili parlor? Should we?
Yeah.
Chili parlor. Then there's white chicken chili. A new addition to the chili world, having been invented sometime in the 1970s or 1980s. Nobody really knows. The story goes, a chef out in Los Angeles invented this dish when he blended French and Southwestern food together to make sort of a more dairy-forward, less chili, beefy version of chili. Some people straight up don't even consider this chili, but if done right, it's pretty delicious and it's a nice switch up from the traditional beefy vibe. Here we got our white chicken chili spice blend. Pretty simple. White chicken chili, medium-high heat, large pot. We're gonna hit it with some nooch oil, diced chicken thigh and breast. pinch of kosher. We're just gonna pop that down and try to sear some of that chicken off, just like our other meats. Oh yeah. Get some color on that there chicken. We're gonna add in the onions and the garlic. Tiny pinch of kosher. We're just gonna mix that around just to kind of sweat out those onions, get the garlic fragrant. We're gonna go in with our spices and all-purpose flour. Again, stirring to make sure that all the flour is kind of coated onto the veggies and chicken. Just gonna cook that up for a second more. We're gonna go in with our green hatch chilies and the chicken stock. Cannellini white beans, Great Northern white beans. And for the dairy, heavy cream, sour cream, and cream cheese. Now that's a lot of dairy, so a little bit of lime juice to brighten it up, and a pinch of kosher. Just kind of stir it around, the cream cheese will slowly melt in. All right, so once this is up to a simmer, you can tell it's a little like on the thinner side. We wanted to thicken up a bit, so we're gonna let that go for 30 minutes to an hour, just kind of watch that consistency. And when that's finished, we will be ready to dish up. Our first chili, the Texas Red. This is very minimalist. You don't actually put any garnish in this, you eat it as is. Chili and beef. However, cornbread is a welcome guest to the party. Next chili, the green chili. Again, bare bones, but it is commonly served with warm flour tortillas. White chicken chili. We're gonna pop down some cilantro, little Monterey Jack cheese, little avocado, some pickled jalapenos, a few wedges of limon, and some tortilla chips. White chicken chili. Cincinnati Chili. This one's unique because it's served on sketty. Gonna dollop on some of that chili. These are hearty Midwestern portions. A little onion, straight kidney bean, Oyster crackers, get on there, and a healthy portion of cheddar cheese. Like, that's a normal amount. This is what they call a 5-way at Skyline Chili in Cincinnati. Midwestern chili. Gonna hit it with some cheddar cheese. I like that cheese to melt on top. White onion, oyster crackers, some green onion, and a dollop of sour cream. Midwestern chili, baby. If I had Fritos or corn nuts, I would certainly add them too. All right, it is time to taste. We got 5 pretty incredible looking bowls of chili in front of me, if I don't say so myself. I think I gotta taste each one before we fully put them in order and rank them. Closest to me, my good old, true, tried and trusty Midwestern. Now the thing about this, I generally put jalapenos and other spicy peppers in my chili, but we didn't today, obviously, so little hot sauce, never hoit nobody. Little sour cream, little, oh yeah. When I personally think of chili, this is what I think of. Beans, ground beef, this is no frills. I feel like this is like chili patient zero, for me at least. I know it's biased, but. All right, next up, we got our white chicken chili. California meets the Southwest, I guess. I gotta hit it with the limon. I might just not even use a spoon. It's kind of like a queso dip anyways. Yeah, I already said it, kind of like a queso dip. It's super rich, very creamy. Not the most like chili, but it's really, really good. How can it not be with the amount of dairy that we put in there? Heavy cream, cream cheese, sour cream. It's creamy. The pickled jalapenos are nice though on it. All right, down the line, we'll go to this beautiful green chili we got here. Kind of like that mix between the Colorado green chili and the New Mexican green chili stew with the potatoes and everything. It even has a bit of a kick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's like smoky because of that charry skin that I left on the tomatoes. You can see those little flecks of black. You want to remove most of those, but a little bit in there leaves a really smoky note. The pork almost tastes like little bacon bits because it is like so charry and smoky. And the potatoes are a welcome addition as well. Kind of makes the soup a little heartier. This is gonna sound dumb, very, very pepper forward, obviously. It's a green chili pepper stew, right? But yeah, pretty good, pretty tasty, I like. Little spoon action here. Just like the chips, I'm all about an edible utensil. That's a nice move. All right, I think I need a fork. Right, that's a forker, right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go spoon and fork. Look at this. The 5-way Skyline chili. Give that a toss. You can smell the cinnamon on that. Oh, I almost forgot, bro. At Skyline, they offer hot sauce. I'm gonna hit it with some hot sauce. I like that heat. It's weird, but it's really good. Cincinnati chili isn't really like a chili in the traditional sense. It's more of a sauce, a meat sauce, like a ragu on noodles, coming from that sort of Mediterranean inspiration. Those immigrants who brought sort of like their style over and melded it with American flavors, put it on spaghetti with cheddar cheese, a little bit of beans. That's the Midwest. I understand why on the surface you might want to hate on this and just like give it basically because it's so weird, but until you try it, you just can't. Remember when we had this last time, Frankie, on a road trip?
Oh yeah.
Ate the chili and then drove 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should probably be illegal, but here we are. All right, last one. The Texas Red, a bowl of red, baby. Straight up pureed chilies and delicious, delicious beef chuck. Yeah, I was right, it is really good. This is so interesting to me. It makes sense that this is the first iteration with chili because of how bare bones it is. It is pureed chilies with spices and beef. It's very Texas, it's very Southwest. Again, to me, this kind of reminds me of like a Spanish stew guisado. It's that kind of like spice on the back of your tongue, which kind of lingers there and makes you want to keep eating. So it's really nice. It's not like that sharp, punch you in the face spice. I almost forgot the cornbread. Cornbread is nice. Adds a little bit of sweetness, absorbs some of that chili. I love how there ain't nothing else in this but chunks of beef. And there's a lot of it. This is a Texas-sized portion, so good stuff. I'm gonna have to go for bite 2. Beef's so tender. Okay, so we're gonna rank these 1 through 5. Not easy. Okay, in 5th place, we got the white chicken chili. Here's the thing, delicious, creamy, rich, satisfying. Anybody you serve this to will like it. But for me, when I think of chili, when I want chili, it's just not really that. This is more of like a Southwest, I don't know, creamy tortilla soup situation. Really good, but 5th place, white chicken chili. Chicken chili, white chicky chili. 4th place. It's gonna have to be the green chile. Really, really good, very delicious. I've had this on the thinner side in Colorado. I've also had a thicker version too. It's smoky and awesome, but for the same reason as the white chicken chili, it's just not really like chili to me personally, and maybe that's not what it's going for. I don't know. I'm just one guy and I'm not from this region of the country, but really tasty, really good. I love the potatoes too. 4th place, green chili. All right, we're moving on to the podium, baby. 3rd place, the bronze, honorable. Smack in the middle of our 5 today. It's gonna have to be Skyline Chile. If you've never had Skyline and you hate on it, stop it. Stop it right now. It's not cool, all right? Try this before you bash it. It's really good. The amount of cheese they put on there is kind of preposterous, like in the best way possible, so that's definitely the wrong word, but it's really tasty and nice, and if you think of it more of a ragu or a sauce on spaghetti or pasta, you'll probably enjoy it a little more, but yes, it is very chili-like still too. Good stuff. Cinnamon and chili sounds weird. Try it, really good. 3rd place, Skyline, Cincinnati Chili. Okay, on to the finalists here. We got the Texas Red in the Midwestern. This is, I think you guys might know where this is going. Second place, the Silver. It's gonna have to be the Midwestern Chili. Haha, gotcha! Bruh. Not letting my bias ruin the video, because today, right now, with these in front of me, I enjoyed this one the most. There's nothing wrong with this. This is everything I want and think about when I want chili. The Texas Red was just a little more novel to me today. So second place, the Midwestern vibe. Which means in first place, the Tejas Red. Woo, woo, woo. I've said this ad nauseum. It's a Mexican guisado pretty much, right? It's a northern Mexican guisado. It's a northern Mexican stew, pureed chilies with a couple other delicious spices, lots and lots of beef. You know your boy loves beef. It's just like in every bite, you have like 7 chunks of beef in this delicious, perfectly spiced and spicy chili puree sauce. I could just imagine sitting out on the range, spitting into a Splatoon and chomping down this here dang chili on the chuck wagon. But yeah, I don't know, man. With the cornbread, a little bit of sweetness from that. Good stuff. Good stuff a lot of good stuff. But remember, I am but one lad. Let us know in the comments which bowl of chili looks best to you, which looks worst to you. If you think I screwed up, if you think I did a good job, let us know. We're opening up the chili convo. I'm probably gonna get like kicked off YouTube for this. I know you guys have all been wondering, hey, what would every single one of these chilies taste like in one bowl? Let's find out. A little white chicky, verde. Green chili. Do I get the sketty in there? No, I'm just gonna try to get the whatever. There will be casualties. Texas Red. This is so disturbing. All right, here it is. The true American chili bowl, baby. I feel like SWAT's gonna knock at my door when this video goes live. I don't know what to say. It's certainly not disgusting like I thought it was gonna be. It's also not good. There's a reason why these styles of chili are different and we don't mash them all together in one bowl, but it reminds me of my upbringing, going to McDonald's, each soft drink 14 times until you get the perfect blend. This isn't really the perfect blend, but it's not bad. But I'm a garbage person, keep that in mind. I think we gotta wrap this up. TY so much for watching here. If you like the video, it helps us out. It helps the video be shown to new peeps. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the Chansky. But if you're not new to the Chansky, welcome back. The best way to support us is over on the Patreon, aka the Grocery Fund. I do a bunch of cool giveaways over there, so if you like to cook, you post a picture of your food, you could win some pretty awesome prizes. But if you can't financially support, that's totally fine too, no worries. Say what up in Discord, either way. We're chilling, we're chatting, we're talking life, we're talking chili, we're slurping noodles, baby. That's pretty much all I got for you today. So, until next we meet. Take care now. I salute me of a cowboy hat.